Before now, going to bed tired meant you get a good night's sleep. Now, the second your head hits the pillow, your brain just starts thinking about what we're doing tomorrow before you've even had a chance to shut your eyes. And not only is that a hard thing to have to grin and bear, but also it's something that nobody else sees. That need to always be on, that part of you that's never really stops thinking away to the next thing. When that happens often enough, your brain, your body gets used to it. You get used to it. It stops being a problem and just starts being part of who you are. And I don't think that makes you broken. I think that makes you a good person who's trying to do the best they can for the people that need them. And over time, when you have to keep grin and bearing it, you start feeling cut off from everybody around you because other people are like going out with their mates and you see it on Instagram, they're all having a nice time, and you wouldn't even know where to start if someone asked you to go anywhere because you wouldn't even know what you wanted to do anymore. Not because you're not the person you used to be, but because you don't get time to yourself anymore. So you've stopped wondering what you would do. And then if somebody says, "Hey, do you want to go out this weekend?" You go, "No, I can't because I've got all this other stuff on." Quietly thinking, I don't actually want to go. Not because you don't like the person, because you don't want the time for yourself. God knows you probably do. But you spent so long being all things to all people that the idea of having that time to yourself, it's not a comfortable idea anymore. We don't know how to do that anymore. This is what happens when you're the person that's responsible for everything in your life: your kids, your partner, your well being, your emotional regulation, your job, the bills, all of the housework, everything. When you're the person that's responsible for pretty much everything all of the time without a proper break, you don't lose the person you are, but the person that you're operating as is not the person you used to be. That doesn't mean you've lost yourself or that you're broken. It just means you don't have any time anymore where you can safely put any of that down. And that's what I want to talk about today because there's something that I found when I was like this. I'm a dad of three. I care for my partner. I don't have any time to myself normally. Not big chunks of time like people on Instagram tell you need, right? Take an hour out of your day, do journaling, meditation, whatever. I didn't have that time. I'm sure if I tried to find it, I wouldn't have a whole block of an hour in my week, never mind in my day. When I struggled with this, when I didn't have anywhere to put any of it down, I didn't come up with some new idea because of how clever I am. I grappled with the idea of finding something because I was desperate. What came out of that is what I now call the 1% reset. And the 1% reset exists and works because it doesn't ask you for time you haven't got. It doesn't ask you to be a person that you don't want to change into. And it doesn't ask you to stop being the person you are to the people that need you. All it is taking 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, however much time you have in between the responsibilities you already carry. Because where a lot of other advice tells you about resting and recovering, a lot of us out there, the time that actually we do that in, or we try and do that in, is like at the end of the day when everybody else is in bed or before everybody else gets up in the morning. We're already tired. We're already worn out. We don't want to sit and learn a new skill to be able to feel better. We just want something that's going to help in that moment to make us feel a bit less exhausted or a bit less like just to take away from some of that headache that comes from constantly overthinking, constantly worrying about what's the next thing I need to do, who needs me to do what today, whatever it might be. The 1% reset does something that I call micro action, macro effect. Enough small resets taken over time provides you with not so much a bigger amount of time. It's not like take 5 minutes this week, take half an hour next week. It's more like giving you checkpoints in your day or in your week where if it's say you pick your kids up from school at 3:30 every day, right? If you get into the habit of getting there say 10 minutes early because you like being on time because you care about making sure you're there for your kids on time, instead of getting out of the car and going up to the classroom and waiting for them there while the buzz of all the other people talking about how much time they've had off over the weekend fills your ears, sitting in the car for an extra 5 minutes and putting on a bit of a YouTube video or an episode of something on your phone or a bit of a film or whatever it might be, and taking 5 minutes where your brain is engaged in something you like rather than the responsibilities that you have to carry with you wherever you go. It's not sitting down for an hour and having a cup of coffee with a friend. But a lot of people I know who struggle with this wouldn't be able to do that, not because they don't have any friends or they've run out of coffee, but because their their nervous system wouldn't allow for that long to be taken away because that's going to impact somebody that depends on them. Another really easy version of this is what I call a shared reset. Now, a shared reset is where you combine something that you enjoy that you can bring into the room with you to a responsibility you're already doing, right? Like if you're at work and you're making a hot drink, or if you're at home and you're doing the dishes, both these things can take about 5-10 minutes, right? Instead of standing there thinking about the next thing you've got to do or worrying about stuff you haven't got done yet and that you might be behind, or there's all this stress or this other thing later on you've got to do, whatever it might be, taking your phone out of your pocket and putting on some music quietly, like in a headphone or just quietly on the sideboard while you're doing what you're doing, putting on an audiobook or a bit of a podcast, whatever it is. Again, you're taking something that you already like into the room with you. It's giving you some of that time back. Some of that mental load is being taken away while whatever that other thing is, music, podcast, whatever, while that's on, your brain is engaged in that, not in the responsibility. It stops you overthinking for 5 minutes. It stops you stressing as much for 5 minutes. This isn't one of those feel better overnight 10 hacks to staying calm rubbish. This is a way to survive being the person who is there for everybody else without any time for yourself, without burning out. Because one thing I've found, and it's not just me that does this, I've helped other people that I know locally to try and engage in this themselves. And one thing a lot of them come back as saying is the more of these I've done, the more reset time I've found, the more opportunities there have been for me to do this without taking away time from other people. It's just using time I hadn't seen to do something for me or to bring something into the room with me so that I don't feel so overwhelmed by responsibility and pressure all the time. Because if you're anything like me, your responsibilities run your day. And even when they're finished, it's not like you can have the rest of the day off. What happens is you just start thinking ahead to tomorrow. And if that's the case, then these resets can help. They don't take that away, they just put it on mute for 5 minutes. That's all we're doing is just giving you like checkpoints throughout the day where you can access that. And like I said earlier, if you want that PDF, it's available in the description. The link is there. It is free. There's an email sign up sheet. You fill it out. I send you the form. It's as simple as that. And this is one of those bullshit sign up sheets where you get 8 pages of guff every week from me telling you about what my life's been like. It's only ever free value where I feel the value exists. If it's something that I don't think is worth having or that I would not find any help in, why would I bother sending it to you? Right? That would just waste the time you don't have. I'm trying to give you back that time or show you how you can take the time that exists, not waste your time with pointless crap. I want to say something very clear though, very quickly. If you're the sort of person where taking rest feels uncomfortable or your brain won't switch off, it's not because you're weird or different or broken. You're somebody who's a good person who tries their best for everybody else. And after long enough, the tax you pay for that is that you don't know how to do that for yourself. You've stopped being that person for you. And I don't think you should try and stop being that person. People that tell you to stop being that person, it's a bit like saying, okay, who's going to do it for me? What I'm saying is Let me help you to find a way of making that manageable so it doesn't feel like it's costing you your sanity to be the person you're trying to be for everybody else. Whatever you go away thinking, I just hope this video has helped. And if it has, then this video has done its job. Until the next one, my name is Daniel Mottram, and I can't wait to catch up with you in the next video.